Check, check, check. 1 2 1 2. Good evening, everyone. How are you tonight? All right, I do apologize. I had to push this back 45 minutes. I think I give a fair warning of that. I had some stuff I had to do. Boy, I came running back to the house, so I made it just in time. Thank you guys so much for being here. Hopefully, I did give you enough notice of the time change to make sure you're here. Is that music too loud? Let me turn it down here. Thanks for being here, guys. I just want to offer a warning before we begin. This is atypical from the type of streams that I do. This is not a drama stream. This is we'll be discussing very serious crimes with, very sensitive topics. It has to do with victims of very serious crimes. So please do me a favor and keep all the riffraff at the door. Moderators, if you see creeps creeping, just block them. If they can't be appropriate, with a live stream like this, then they're simply not welcome here. And welcome in. I didn't see it fit to have a intro song for this. I just got some background music going though. Thank you so much for being here. In episode 1, what we did was set up the foundation. If you were here, you have a basic understanding of who jackass Jeffrey Epstein is. Today, we'll be laying the same foundation for his partner in crime, his quote-unquote fixer, Ghislaine Maxwell. We all know her, but do we really? I think hopefully by the end of this live stream, you will have a pretty good understanding of who she is. Moving forward, the episodes that come will be victim impact statements, associations, and then towards the end of this series, we'll get into the conspiracy. There's a lot of shit swirling around out there. We'll try to make as much sense of it as possible. But before the conspiracy stuff, we'll have a solid look at the files themselves. We won't get that far today, just so you know. What we'll be looking at today is Ghislaine's family, her father in particular, very interesting man, and essentially an intelligence agent. Let me get some graphics going here for you guys. As I said, this is a very serious topic. Please don't joke around about this. I mean, the internet is forever, and I would hate for any of the victims or their families to click on this and be mortified as to how we're discussing this subject. There's some really, really bad coverage out there. Nothing short of just exploitation. So I'm going to avoid that at all costs. Like I said, this isn't typical for me. So I am being a sensitive Sally, a cautionary Carol, if you will. And I hope you maintain that same type of vibe with me, if you would be so kind. Let me just quickly check in with chat. See who's here with us today. Thanks again so much for being here. And thanks again, Unstoppable Joe, for becoming a member. I didn't see it fit after discussion with my moderators. I didn't see it fit to set a super chat goal. Of course, any contributions to the channel for the work that I'm doing here are greatly appreciated. No pressure on that. All right, so we're going to start at the beginning here. It looks like Step B was the first one here. Awesome. Ninja Orchids, I hope you made it back. Smokin71, thanks for being here. Appalachian Patriot. Seems like every comment you leave are big eyes. I'm okay with that. Teaching 25, thank you so much for being here. Pink Dagger, what it do? It says, thank you so much for joining the Lemon Grove, Unstoppable Joe. And not just joining, but joining the highest level that I have. I will do my best to make it worth your money. What's up, Summer? Hope you're well. Tinker's in the house. At least I hope she is. She said she'll be back in 30 minutes, so maybe she made it back. Sammy JC, thank you so much for being here. And thanks for always showing up. I noticed that you've been here often, so it's a pleasure to have you. Let's see here. Madi, welcome back. Queen Bella, as always, thanks for helping me out, and thanks for being here. Deanna D, thank you for being here. Marie, don't be a douche. Always good advice. Kansas City Chiefs for life. Now, I just want to let you know also that until the upcoming episodes, I sort of trimmed out a lot of the exploitive stuff. To a lot of people, this may be a little dry, but again, we're still building the foundation of who these monsters are. We will get into some of the first allegations and a few of the first victims' claims, along with their police reports and exactly what they had to say. That happened as early as well. We'll get into it. I don't want to get ahead of myself. Bear with me, man. I'm a little bit nervous. I'm not used to doing this stuff. I want to treat it with the utmost care because if you know me, I do have a lot to say about people that do not cover this stuff properly. So I'm going to do my stinking best. Thank you so much, Melissa, for the super sticker. Like I said, Melissa's in the house. Pink Butterfly, good to see you. I hope you're well. Here, scooting along. I don't want to miss anybody. Aren't too many of us here, which I wouldn't expect. We're not talking badly about other people's families and making up stories, so it's less attractive. That's okay. Got my carpets all cleaned. Awesome. That's a good feeling. Ro Solo, good to see you. Welcome in. I think that's a new name. Viewer discretion is absolutely advised. That's along the bottom here. Limey, Squirrel, good to see you. Hey, y'all, it's Squirrel crash out soon. Guys, almost midnight here. I missed part 1. Busy AF. I listen to that tomorrow at work. Awesome. And I will be capping this at just a few hours. There's a lot of information here, so I don't want to burn myself out or overwhelm you with a bunch of stuff. Glad you're here, Pink Butterfly. Winter Mermaid, welcome in. Teaching 25 again. Let's see here. Thanks, Melissa. I appreciate it. Guilty of Crime is in the house. See, Guilty of Crime covers true crime all the time. I'll be honest, this stuff makes me nervous. I want to live forever, just for the record. If I disappear, please investigate. Tinker did make it back. Thanks so much. Sam Hill Hell, thank you for being here. What up, Cheese? How's it going, dude? Guilty of Crime says, now I don't have to cover the Epstein files since I can listen here. I've been avoiding Epstein coverage because it's too much sometimes. Not only is the subject matter too much, but wowzers in the way of I'm trying to stay on a main trail here and tell the story, and there are distractions everywhere. That's why I'm going to just build the foundation, and then we'll get into the crazy stuff. And believe me, there's a lot of crazy stuff. I'm not even sure if these people are... I'm not even sure if it's her that's in jail. I'm not even sure if the man is dead. So, I mean, that's how confusing this stuff is. But we'll get there. I'm damn near certain that... the woman that's in jail is not Ghislaine Maxwell, or Ghislaine Maxwell, excuse me. Thanks to that special someone out there that's been helping me pronounce her name. I know people are butchering it. I'm going to do my best. Let's see here. Let's see here. Guilty Crime, Teaching 25. All right, we're all in. What's up, Rod? I'm glad you made it. Hope you got some rest. I'll be in and out of chat listening in depth. Awesome. Please hit the thumbs up. That helps get it out there. There's a lot of people covering this. A lot of people are covering it in the most mindless way. I mean, I'm listening to major, journalists covering this stuff, and it's just they're butchering it. So I'm going to be walking on eggshells, but I will get you the information. We'll hire BHP to come find you. Do not hire BHP to come find me. You'd have better luck with JLR, but nice one. Aretha Bell, thank you so much for being here. All right, so we're just going to get started. Let me pull up a little video that I made. So basically, essentially, I'm going to do this. I'm going to read you the details and show you photographic references. I watched part 1, and it was a little too dry for my taste. So I will be mixing in some videos that I scoured the internet for and YouTube for, just to give you some motion pictures to go along with this stuff. I think that'll be helpful to keep your attention. And there they are. Notice it says the origins of the devil. Well, they're both the devil, but I think that Jeffrey was the mastermind. ultimately. But we'll find out. You can decide for yourself. We'll find out. All right. Bear with me. Okay, so Ghislaine Maxwell. She was a very strange character. I mean, hugely strange character. Billionaire family. Robert Maxwell was her father, a media tycoon. He's such an interesting man. Here, we'll get into his photograph and I'll show you. He was an MI6 agent. He was a man who fled from the Nazis, and 300 members of his family were murdered. In fact, his wife went on to write books about her or about his family members that were lost. He is a Czechoslovakian native, moved to Great Britain. This is their family here. So Ghislaine was born in Maisons Lafite, France, December 25th, 1961. Now, I'm not sure which one is her. This must be her here, I think. She was born into the family, the youngest daughter with 9 siblings. That's a big family. I don't know how many brothers and sisters you have. I've got 3 sisters. I thought that was a big family. Her siblings were named Anne, Philip, Ian, Kevin, Isabel, Christine, Karen, and Michael. Christine and Elizabeth were twins. Okay, so that's not her in the front there. I correct myself here. These are the twins. So that is, and no way I could tell them apart, but that's Christine and Elizabeth. So could be, I don't know which one she is. Is that her? I can't tell you before. I can't tell you for sure, but not all of the siblings are actually in this photograph. Michael, the brother, he passed away after being in a coma for several years after a car accident, and Corrine, one of the sisters, passed away at 3 years old from leukemia. So they're not really going to be part of the story at all. Sorry, get this music. I thought I had it looped. There we go. Pretty beautiful family, I must say. This is Robert, the media tycoon, the World War II intelligence asset for the British government, the MI6. You'll find, and we'll after this episode, things will accelerate quite quickly. We're going to start showing all the connections. It is amazing how many of these people were intelligence agents. I mean, almost every man in this story had a connection to the CIA, MI6, or secret intelligence agencies. This is Elizabeth Maynard and Father Robert. Elizabeth was born 11th March 1921 and passed away 7 August 2013. She, because of her husband's history, fleeing the Nazis from Czechoslovakia, she went on to become a Holocaust researcher, which is an incredibly noble job. He was cruel to her in their marriage, neglect, physical abuse, mental abuse. But for some reason, she staunchly stood by him unfailingly. So I'm not sure what makes someone do that, but I'm led to believe it's a result of having 9 children together. And this is them holding the twins here. That's Christine and Elizabeth. It's kind of murky. It's kind of murky to get a lot of information on Robert without getting into the tinfoil hat area, which we will. Don't worry. We'll get there later, but I just want to get the facts out first. Like I said, she was a Holocaust researcher. She earned a PhD from the University of Oxford, which is, as you know, a very prestigious college. She earned that degree in French literature. She went on to write a book about the Holocaust, primarily about the 300 members of Robert's family that perished in Czechoslovakia. It's close to my heart because my ancestry is also Czech. A lot of people don't realize that the Czechoslovakian people really took great loss at the hands of the Germans in World War II. She went on to write a book called Remembering the Future. Remembering for the Future. I read the first couple pages of it. She's very well written, I must tell you. It's really great work. She doesn't play much in this story. She was back and forth from France, where she's from, and her husband was spearheading a media empire. It's really difficult to find photographs of all three of them together, but here's one of them. This man had about 6 or 7 aliases. Only a few of them I was able to confirm. But when he was born, his name was Jan Ludwig Hyman Benjamin Hawk. He changed his name whenever he became associated with the MI6. He changed his name 4 or 5 times between 1940 and 1945. One second here, let me get my notes proper. Let's see here. All right, let's see. I mean, as much of a creep as this guy is, it's also fascinating. I mean, when I say that he was associated with the MI6, and intelligence, an easier way to say that is the man was a spy. Very clearly, very obviously. Although, as I'll show you, he lost his credibility with them as well. Find my MI6 notes. Okay, Maxwell's relationship with the MI6 was complex. Wait, make sure I pause that. I did. So he started out as a very valuable asset to them, and then it quickly progressed into him being in intelligence world what they'll call compromised. And boy, was he compromised. He's more interested in making money and becoming famous, which is a shame because the man had a hell of a story and could have been a hero to his employees and his community, but he was not. His MI6 relationship was complex. Like I said, it evolved from military service to a long-standing informal, often suspicious association. During World War II, Maxwell's former cooperation with British intelligence began after World War II. Although that's what it says officially, I don't quite buy it. I think he was all the way up to his death, and quite possibly his death was as a result of his association with MI6. There's a lot of stuff swirling out there. It's difficult to determine as to what is true and what is not. A lot more of this will come later once we get into the maybe and could be section of this series. That's where most of our conversation will be. Unfortunately, the facts when it comes to an intelligence agent, it's really difficult to get. It's nearly impossible to get the truth, but I did my best here. After joining the British Army, his fluency in several languages, including German and Czech, made him a great asset for intelligence gathering and interrogations in occupied Germany. Let's just say it, this man was in the shit. His historical reports suggest that MI6 may have played a role in his transition from soldier to businessman. It certainly did. I don't think there's any question there. According to some accounts, the agency helped provide the initial financing to support him to acquire, excuse me if I pronounce this incorrectly, Pergamon Press. Straight out the gate, he was buying media resources and controlling information. And as an intelligence agent, that's fucking crazy. Excuse my language. With the idea that that a publishing house with international reach could serve as a useful front for intelligence interests. They said it was a very useful relationship between him and MI6, but that quickly deteriorated. During the 1950s and 60s, the British Foreign Office and MI6 viewed Maxwell as a useful official relation, because he frequently traveled behind the Iron Curtain to meet with Eastern European and Soviet leaders. Iron Curtain is referring to, communist Russia. He was able to provide the British government with high-level observations and information that professional spies could not easily access. By the late 1960s, the relationship soured with MI6. Declassified documents show that MI6 and the Foreign Office began to view him with deep suspicion, as they should. His reliability fell off the cliff. Officials eventually described him as a thoroughly bad character, and not a person that can be relied on. He was a douchebag, in every possible way. He was a womanizer, shady with money. It goes deep. You could do a whole week series just on this man alone. You could. He had conflicting loyalties, which is once you become compromised as an intelligence agent, if they think that you're playing a double agent, then they'll make you disappear, or they'll just play you like a fool, set you up for embarrassment. We've seen it time and time again. British intelligence became concerned with Maxwell as a double or triple agent, suspecting him of also working with the KGB, which is the Soviet Union's counterpart for MI6, as well as the United States CIA. This predates his involvement with the MI6 predates the formation of the official CIA. At the time, it went by OSS. He's suspected of also working with the KGB and Soviet Union, and most significantly, Mossad, which is Israeli's intelligence. You're going to hear Mossad a lot in this case. A lot of people think that Epstein himself was a Mossad agent. I know he was. There's almost no question about it. Of course, you won't see that on CNN. The Zionist label. One intelligence report from the time dismissed him as a Zionist, loyal to Israel, suggesting his primary allegiance was no longer to the British state. And I think it's almost impossible to argue that. Just in the, a little bit of digging I did, and, old newspaper articles, as well as, videos that I scoured the internet for. And plus, when he passed away, he was shipped away to Israel to be born, or to be buried on the Mount of Olives. I think that's how you say it. So, you don't just go and get buried there unless something else is up. Later suspicions. By the time of his death in 1991, Maxwell was no longer considered a formal asset of MI6, but rather a high-profile figure who was being monitored due to his immense influence and ties to the rival intelligence agencies. He definitely was at least a double agent, quite possibly a triple agent, but his interest lied with Mossad, which is Israel's intelligence agency. His death sparked rumors that MI6, along with others, may have wanted him silenced because of how much he knew and their past operations and funding. I think there's no question about it. The nature of his relationship with MI6 started as a combat intelligence officer and moved into a front businessman role, ended as a triple agent. His death, and we're going to get right to that, his death was one of the most mysterious things ever. It could have, because of the way this man lived his life, it could have been anyone. It could have been a janitor in one of his media companies that did him in. It could have been the highest level Mossad, or, probably not Mossad because that's who he was in bed with, but it could have been MI6. It could have been the KGB. It could have been OSS, the organization that later became the CIA. Let's see here. Give me 1 second. I got more. I do apologize. I came rushing home. I feel like I'm still catching my breath. What are you guys saying? How you feeling out there? I will open the floor for questions at the end if you'd like. Welcome everyone coming in. Again, thanks for being here. I know this is a bit scholarly. I know this is a bit educational, but it's the only right way to do it, I think. What's up, Solo Rider? Good to see you. School said my Android battery went flat. I missed 5 minutes to rewind. Oh, Get that shit fixed, brah. Let's see here. It is ominous music, yes. I just pulled it out of my Halloween music. Super sus. Oh, Pink Dagger. Wait, I promise it's going to get far more exciting. Like I said, I know I'm repeating myself, but we're laying the foundation here. All right, bear with me. You ever see that? What was that number with the guy that had numbers tattooed all over his body? That's how I feel here. My notes are scatterbrained. All right, so this was their childhood home. Not too fucking shabby, huh? I mean, look at this place. I have a video to accompany this as well. This is this is crazy. Let me show you. I've got a video of both the grounds of this property. Not too shabby. So 1961 was Ghislaine's birthday. Robert moved here ahead of his wife and family to set up shop as the media mogul. Let's see. One second. I've got all the details on this. I'm just a bit scattered around here. Give me a sec. Let me get rid of this overlay really quickly and pull up the video of this place. Could you imagine living in such a place? It's a university now, a full friggin' college. There was another family that owned this building for over 100 years, and then Maxwell's lived here for 30 years. Bear with me. I'm going to open up I created a Jeffrey Epstein playlist, and boy, does that make me nervous. Let's see here. Let's see. Oh, don't do that. A billionaire spy. That's a great way to explain him. Let's see here. Okay, so the name of this property is the Headington Hill Hall. It's now the Oxford Brookes University. I mean, have you ever lived in a house that became a college before? Yeah, me either. Calm down. I'm going to mute this and do my best not to get copyright strikes in such a show. So this is just going to give you some indication of what the crib looked like. Not too shabby. Like I said, it's now called, it's part of the Oxford University. Oxford Brookes. It's just beautiful. I mean, I'm to the personal belief that nobody should live in a castle. I will just scan ahead so you guys get an idea. Here, I'm going to skip to where the estate is. It's better. Imagine waking up and having tea here. I mean, look at this place. This is nicer than most, grand hotels in major cities. Seminar room, which would have been their dining room. Let me see what you guys are saying in chat. Hey, Grandma Sherry, thank you so much for being here. Grandma Sherry, could you imagine living in a place like this? I can't even imagine. Hey, Toe Beans, thanks for being here. Hopefully this music doesn't put you to sleep. If you're just coming in, this is the residence of the Maxwells when they moved from France. Ghislaine was just a baby at this time. I couldn't find the exact date when she moved, but she was born in 1961 on Christmas Day, and her father had already moved to this property from France ahead of her. It could have been he moved there the last few months of 1959, so the rest of the family followed quickly after that. I think you guys get the idea. And it's now a university. It's the Oxford Brookes University. The name of the property, again, is the Headington Hill Hall site. I can't imagine. My brain doesn't allow me to understand how someone can live there. I don't get it. I really don't. All right, let me get rid of that for one moment. I do have a more casual look at the property as well. Bear with me. If I can find it, let's see here. Some real dirtbags. Let's see. Oh, maybe I don't have another video. That might be the only one. Oh no, I do. Here's some drone footage of the same property. I mean, gorgeous, stunning. I mean, I don't even think I've been in very many buildings that are this beautiful, let alone woke up in one. When you have this much money and power, you can get away with anything. And boy, Robert sure did. So when Robert moved here in 1959, he quickly began his media mogulship here. So much money, so much control of information to the citizens of Great Britain, disturbingly so. And then we'll see that he became disgraced because the whole time that he was living in this lap of luxury, he was stealing pensions from his employees, and his employees numbered in the tens of thousands. He ripped his employees off of, over $1 billion. That's why by the time he was found face down outside of his yacht named the Lady Ghislaine, no one really, of course it was a mystery how he passed away, but it could have been it could have been a janitor at one of his newspapers. It could have been an intelligence agency. It could have been his wife. I mean, we just don't know. He was found floating face down in the ocean. Let's see. Let me get back to my notes. Let's see here. Well, the official cause of Robert Maxwell's death in 1991 was ruled an accidental drowning. Well, isn't it always? Possibly following a heart attack, because he was noted to have heart issues. But if you're an intelligence agent for MI6, they can put something in your drink that will mock a heart attack. Believe that. The mysterious consequences surrounding his fall from his yacht, the Lady Ghislaine, have fueled several conspiracies. Assassination by Mossad, which is, I for some reason, I find that least likely, being that he was ultimately most loyal to them, even though he was an MI6 agent during World War II. The most prominent theory is that Maxwell was a secret agent for Mossad. I do believe that to be true. Proponents argue that Maxwell had become a liability or was attempting to blackmail the agency for money to cover his massive debts. Could be. No way for a silly guy like me to confirm that. To prevent him from leaking sensitive state secrets or embarrassing Israeli government information. The second theory is self or life unsubscription to escape ruin. As his business empires were on the verge of collapse, Maxwell faced a certain exposure for stealing $460 million from his, or 460 million pound, it's quite different from dollars, from the employees' pension funds. Faced with prison and total public disgrace, he chose to self-unsubscribe. Some investigators noted that his uncharacteristic behavior in the days leading up to his death through his family has always, though his family strongly denied that. If you read enough spy books, you understand that this is always the case when an intelligence agency deletes somebody. It's always them acting squirrely on the days leading up to it. Typically because they're faced with the ultimatum. Knock it off or you're done. And then they realize that, their days are numbered. Then oftentimes that's when people get really squirrely and start selling secrets or, start divulging information that they wouldn't normally otherwise. Now, there is a fringe theory that this was all faked and the man didn't die in 1991 when accused. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's finish looking at his home first. There won't be anything too shocking. There will be nothing to censor in this episode. So just like last episode, it's more informative than shocking at this point. I don't know. This video is titled drone footage, but this looks like someone walking around with the iPhone to me. In any case, you get the idea. Beautifully manicured, very old building. It's a castle. It's now a university. This is just someone walking the grounds. I think you guys get the idea. I don't know if my British friends here in chat or my British viewers are familiar with this property. Well, I'm not sure if it's a legend, like many properties are in the UK. If it's not, it should be. I mean, beautiful. Oh, shit. There we go. Sorry about that. All right, so let me pull up the next one. 1 second. I should have done a better job in putting these in some type of order, but you know me. All right, so it's on to his death. I've got just a 2-minute video here to explain how the media was looking at his death. But first, let's listen to the man's voice ourselves, shall we? I think you'll pick up right away on how much of a slimy person this man was. Again, he was terrible to his wife, and bless her heart, she stayed faithful and committed to him to the very end. Not only that, but she was writing books to celebrate and bring attention to 300 family members of his that were taken by the German Nazis, and most of them in Auschwitz. We all know what Auschwitz was. So I mean, this man really, he fucked up. He had the opportunity, even with his connections to the intelligence agencies, he had an opportunity to make a fortune, grow a giant family, but ultimately, like you see with these maniacs, they become selfish and greedy and tyrannical, and that certainly was the case with him. Like in a Clint Eastwood movie, when someone walks into a room and everybody gets quiet, like you don't see that in real life very often, but you did see that with him. He was ruthless, and arrogant, just about as arrogant as a man can be. Whoop, I didn't want that muted.
Well, that's a question we can put to Mr. Maxwell right now, because he's at his headquarters in the City of London. How determined are you, first of all, to get the mirror, Mr. Maxwell?
I'm quite determined and confident that I shall be successful in getting the mirror
Quite. Right away, it's just like, okay, bud, okay.
Newspaper group.
This quest of yours for a national newspaper, is it because you really are after power?
Well, no, it is not because I'm after power. I believe that I could make Mirror newspapers, which are excellent papers, I could give them the edge commercially that they have not had for many years, and to make them more profitable. I certainly would hope...
I know for a fact that the largest cluster of people that view my content are, or if you want to call it content, people that watch my channel, mostly Americans. The number 2 are my friends in Great Britain. So maybe you can explain to me. I've been trying to differentiate the different accents of Great Britain. I can't tell if someone's from the wrong side of the tracks or an aristocrat. I truly can't. But I know you guys know, and you think I'd learn a little bit about it, but I know nothing. But I do know, listening to this guy, that there is an air of arrogance, and how terrifying that an MI6 agent is running media. I guess it's nothing new. And I do see the super chat, guys, the super chats, and I do appreciate it, but I don't want to distract myself at the end. We'll listen to a couple songs, and I'll read those. If I read them all right now, I'll get myself in trouble. I do appreciate it, though.
To make a small contribution with the help of these newspapers, if I become proprietor, to halting the retreat of Great Britain, which has gone on for so long that the natives have forgotten that they're going backwards.
Will Mirror newspapers, under your proprietorship...
He's speaking for what the natives have forgotten. You can probably pick up on his air of arrogance. I mean, it's undeniable, I think.
Start to admire Mrs. Thatcher's way of doing things in the way that you admire it?
Well, I certainly am a member of the Labour Party and have never voted for Mrs. Thatcher and will not vote for her. I certainly have criticisms of her, but in the meantime...
If you're under any delusion, intelligence agencies run the government, they run the media, and they run politics. It's all connected.
She is the best Prime Minister we've got, and she is doing important things for Britain, and for as long as she does that, she's to be supported.
If you don't get the Mirror Group, will you be building up your holding in the Express Group, in Fleet Holdings?
Well, I can only deal with one matter at a time. The Mirror, the Reed International Board have a cash offer from me. It's a very great deal of money that I'm offering. It's a bona fide bid, and I expect to be successful.
Bet. I mean, who doesn't hope to be successful? I mean, what do you guys think? Let me just look at chat really quick. Boy, is he arrogant, huh? And thanks again, Michelle588. Thank you so much, Sammy JC. Excellent coverage center. This is going to be an eye-opening series. It gets really dark really quickly. Nothing too shocking, nothing that's going to make you lose sleep tonight, unless you take time to consider that intelligence agencies run everything, from department stores to your local newspaper. Thank you so much, Michelle420. Sam Brown got it. Thank you so much. Sam Brown, thank you. Welcome in, Andy Shannon. Thanks, everybody, for being here. I do appreciate it. We're going to keep it moving. I'm going to get back to my presentation here. Let me replace that. Let's see. You may find it kind of quirky how I set this up. Okay, so while Robert is building an empire on the back of his governmental connections, his daughter is off to college. So let me pull up my notes for this. And boy, did she go to college! Whereas Jeffrey Epstein, her future counterpart, was a big dumb. Well, he wasn't dumb, but he never finished anything. We know he graduated high school 2 years early, and then he just kept going to colleges, NYU, and he just never finished anything. That's why he didn't have the proper credentials for the millions that he made later on, with that. Let's see here. Let me get my notes. There is a method. There is some order to my madness. Thanks for being patient with me. And like I said, Robert himself, he had several aliases. The only one that's official I know is Robert Maxwell. That's a complete fake name that he took on for lots of reasons. The Intel guys always do that. His born name was, again, Jean Ludwig Hyman Benjamin Hawk. He changed his name several times during World War II. This is Ghislaine's college. My Brits may recognize this. Let me get to my notes and I'll explain to you exactly what this is. I mean, it's pretty wild. Okay. Where are we at? His reputation, family legacy. Maxwell, 9 children. I already covered that. Let's see here. Throughout his life, he was profoundly, tragically shaped by his experience in World War II. And again, 300 members of his families being murdered in the worst possible way at Auschwitz. He spent the war years combating and fighting against the Nazis. Again, he's Czechoslovakian. That Ludwig Hock name is he's born in a poor Yiddish speaking village in Czechoslovakia. He escaped Nazi occupation as a teenager in 1939. He made his way to France and eventually to Great Britain. However, the family was left behind was not so fortunate. His parents, most of his siblings, and over 300 of his extended relatives were murdered in the Holocaust. Most of them, terrifyingly, at Auschwitz itself. He then became a Nazi hunter. Instead of being in a victim camp, Maxwell became a highly decorated soldier. He joined the British Army and fought his way from the beaches of Normandy all the way to Germany. Because he spoke several languages, including German, he was used as an intel agent. He was awarded the Military Cross for his bravery, leading a charge against the German machine gun nest in 1945. The Military Cross, it's one of the highest honors for a military man in Great Britain. Later in life, it emerged that Maxwell may have been a little too aggressive in his pursuits. Now, already the darkness is showing in this man. In 2006, classified files revealed that the British police had been investigating him for war crimes shortly before his death. So there you go. I mean, he could have done himself in. It could have been MI6. It could have been the KGB. It could have been Mossad. It's impossible to know. It could be a little bit of column A through column D. We just don't know for sure. There are many books written about this. Many investigative journalists have dug and ended up at the same conclusion I think I ended up at. We just don't know for sure. He reportedly admitted in letters to his wife that he had shot the mayor of a German town after his troops were ambushed, an act that would have been summarized as an execution of a civilian. He was an adversary of the Nazis who lost his almost entire family rather than being imprisoned himself. I'm just looking for my notes here. I think I have my slideshow out of order here. Give me 1 second. Let me just back up just a little bit to give you a little bit more information on Ghislaine herself. Let me match up my conversation with her face, shall I? This one will do. Okay. And get my music back on. Okay. Have a lot of tabs open. Okay, so Ghislaine's early life, before college, her early childhood, she experienced lots of family tragedy. She was born on Christmas Day. I never trust anyone that's born on Christmas Day. They're neglected from birth. Just 2 days before she was born, her eldest brother Michael was involved in a car accident that left him in a coma for several years until his death. What a way to go. Her mother later stated that Ghislaine suffered from anorexia as a toddler due to the resulting emotional neglect in the household. Whereas, I don't know this for sure, I found conflicting reports, but it seems like she was daddy's favorite and mommy's least favorite. So I'm not sure if this is part of the equation as to why she became the devil, but everything plays a part. Her mother stated later as her favorite child. Despite being the youngest of 9, she was widely considered her father's favorite. He later nicknamed his luxury yacht the Lady Ghislaine after her. Her childhood home doubled as a corporate headquarters for her father's publishing company, and that's the property we just looked at several times. The children were expected to be highly attentive to their father's high-profile guests. Dignitaries, sultans, sheiks, kings, queens. She attended, Headington School. She attended this school in Oxford at age 13, and then she went on to Marlborough College. She moved here for her A-levels during a period in which she began to establish herself in high society snob-ass circles. College education, For her university studies, she attended, please excuse me if I mispronounce this, is Balliol. It's Balliol, Balliol College, Oxford. She graduated, she earned a degree in modern history with languages in 1985. During her time at Oxford, she began building a network of influential contacts, including becoming friends with Prince Andrew. Hey, Prince Andrew's just been in the news, hasn't he? Yes, all of these fucking people, all these creatures are connected all the way back to the early 80s. There's no coincidence. I bet Prince Andrew could tell all the stories if he would man up and just come clean. Following her graduation, she took on roles at her father's business empire, including becoming the director of Oxford United Football Club at the age of 21. I mean, for real, what the hell is that? Could you imagine? Most of us Americans, we don't understand how seriously the Brits take their footy or their soccer, but it's just about everything. It's a second religion for most men that enjoy sports. I guess not unlike the NFL is here, although the NFL is a baby in comparison to the legacy of these soccer clubs. And I do have some, I can only find one photograph of her. Let's see. Okay, that's her college there. I mean, she lived in a castle. She went to college in a castle. And here she is. At 21 years old, running a fucking soccer club. What the hell? Let me look at chat. I'm real curious to what my Brits have to think about this. I guess it would be a dream come true. And what kind of 21-year-old girl can manage I just don't understand it. Hey Marie, thanks for being here. Sonia, thank you so much for being here. It's been a while. I hope you're doing well. Let's see here, including my own family. We're here today. Let's see. Do I have any Brits in the chat? I know I do. So there's that. Already she's learning how to control people. Who knows what someone like this gets paid to manage a soccer club, but she doesn't care, again, because she lives in a castle. She drinks liquid gold at this point, basically. Legally, our interpreter. What did legally say? And I'm sorry, it's difficult for me to read all my notes and also keep up with chat, but I'm going to do my best. And I promise at the end, I'll either open the panel up like I said I would for about 40-45 minutes to hear what you guys have to say, or I could just take questions from the chat and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. This went on for many years, decades. Her connections built. She was a socialite, just living a creme de la creme, with only the finest linen, the finest clothing. She became great friends with fashion pioneers, businessmen, and of course the media world that her father was so tightly wound up with. There's a lot here. I had to cut a lot of it out. It's rich people being very rich. Robert continued to domineer society there in Great Britain with his connections, of course, to his home country, Czechoslovakia, and France, which he originally moved to. So just like her father, Ghislaine enjoyed the citizenship of 3 countries: France, where she was born, Great Britain, and then the United States, of course. I don't know why we gave this maniac citizenship, but enough money will buy you anything you want. That's a fact. Here he is. This is a photograph from not long before his death. In the background, you'll see that beautiful monster of a boat. I mean, even their boat is a castle. I believe he was the first owner of this yacht, and strangely enough, it's still around. In fact, there was a fire on it in New York Harbor just last year. No surprise that the current owner of the boat is Rupert Murdoch's ex-wife, Anna Murdoch Mann. So again, in vein with the most powerful people in the world. Shit, I can't remember the name of what she changed the name from Lady Ghislaine to something else. There's another photograph of the boat. This is actually the boat that he was found face down in the water outside of. The boat just drifting along. Couldn't find one single photograph. At all. Nowadays we'd have drone footage of the authorities boarding the boat and all of this. That simply doesn't exist. And again, he passed away in. Oh, it's in here. Give me 1 second. When he passed away, the newspapers were not kind to him. Even the newspaper that he owned. Private Eye, Told You So, Happy Christmas, I've stole all your pension, all your presents. So he went from being celebrated to demonized. And boy, did he deserve to be demonized. Now let me look at my playlist to see what I've got in the way. I believe I have a video. Yes. This is just a short YouTuber that I found on the internet, so. Well, this may be a TikToker, but anyways, nothing too controversial here. Just a guy giving a quick opinion. You replace that. What really happened is the name of this one along. Is that visible? Can you guys see that okay?
This blows my mind. One of the most powerful men in the world disappeared from his own yacht, and no one knows what really happened.
Well, disappeared is not the most honest way to say. The boat was found, or the yacht was found, just kind of floating aimlessly. Other boats spotted it, and then his body was found in the water, not very far. So disappear, not really.
This is Lady Ghislaine, the super yacht owned by Robert Maxwell. In 1991, Robert owned newspapers and TV companies all over the world. He knew presidents and prime ministers, but he was also hiding something huge. I do believe that's the Queen there, and just before that was. He knew presidents and prime ministers.
I'm not sure who these people are,
but he was also hiding.
We can spot Princess Diana from a quarter mile away. At least I can.
Something huge. He was broke, billions of dollars in debt. On November 5th, he boarded his yacht off the Canary Islands. A few hours.
November 5th, 91.
Hours later, he was gone. No emergency call, no.
This photograph must have been maybe the same trip that he was on when he lost his life.
Cameras caught anything, no signs of a fight. His body was found floating in the Atlantic Ocean the next day. But here's
the Atlantic Ocean, just off the Canary Islands.
Here's where it gets crazy. A few days later, his entire business fell apart. So people started looking into his money. They found out that Maxwell had stolen hundreds of millions of dollars from.
It was actually more than that. It was closer to $1 billion. This is for those of you that have been digging into the Epstein files. Did you see that photograph of slippery Jeffrey Epstein along with Bill Clinton, where they're wearing this weird pageantry type? I wish I could tell you what kind of uniforms these are, but there's old Bobby doing the same thing.
His employees' retirement funds to keep his companies running. So what really happened? Was he pushed or did he fake it? Here's the part that makes this even stranger.
There's a picture of Ghislaine on Lady Ghislaine, a boat named after her.
His daughter was Ghislaine.
Please disregard this. It says the dad disappeared. He never disappeared. If you watch the end of my last part 1, this is her coming out, preparing to give her speech that she gave there.
Ghislaine Maxwell, who later became famous for being connected to Jeffrey Epstein. Is this just a coincidence? What do you think?
Nothing. No such thing as a coincidence. No such thing as a coincidence. Not in the world. Not in the world. All right, let me get back to my notes. Oh shit, was I not sharing? Oh, I was. Did you guys see that video? Was I sharing that? I'm sorry. I was back on another page. I think I did show it. Turn the music down a bit. Yes, I can do that. I did once already, but I will again. And I appreciate the feedback as far as the audio goes, because I don't wear headphones. I don't like having sweaty ears, dude. It's my pet peeve. Okay, so here we go. Now it starts to get weird. Let me read, because that guy didn't really give us much information. I just wanted to show some video. Let's see. Let me get a picture of the boat back up. Okay, let me read this to you. All right, this my notes say the disappearance. Okay, they're still calling it a disappearance. I don't know, man. I just don't know. The death of Robert Maxwell remains one of the most sensational mysteries in media history. I'm naive. I've never heard of it. I'm sure my British friends, they've definitely heard of it, and people, maybe people a few years older than me are more familiar with it. It's just a little before my time. On the night of November 4th, 1991, Maxwell boarded his luxury yacht, the Lady Ghislaine, cruising near the Canary Islands. At approximately 4:25 a.m., he spoke with a crew member over the intercom. This was the last time he was heard. So yeah, and that's something that popped right into my head. Like if you have a yacht, you have a crew. He's not the captain of the boat. He might have stood out there and smoked cigars and drove it occasionally, but you have someone dedicated to driving the boat. Your assistant, your captain. You have a chief mate. You have a second mate. You have deckhands. So basically, from what I've gathered, all of the whole crew of the ship were just like, we don't know. We don't know what happened. It could have been something just as simple as one of those men or women working as a crew member was just fed up with this shit. You know, I mean, but it could be on the highest level type of assassination. We just don't know. It's unknowable unless you're the one that did it to him. Let's see. He spoke with a crew member over there. That's the last time we see. He didn't answer breakfast calls later that morning, so the search was initiated. The recovery, his naked body, like that's odd also. Would you take all your clothes off? I'll ask you guys, would you guys take your clothes off if you were gonna? First of all, just jumping face first into water is a terrible way to self-delete. But even if you were gonna do that, would you strip down before you did it? Something doesn't seem right to me. We also discussed Jimmy Savile. Yeah, Jimmy Savile's got nothing to do with what I'm talking about, but we'll get. He does become involved in this situation later, or not really. He doesn't have much to do with the Epstein files, but let's see here. And then there she is again, and this boat is still in service. Like I said, Rupert Murdoch's ex-wife now owns it, and it's parked in New York City. There was just a fire in 2005. It looks like it was just some type of a kitchen fire or something like that. Nothing too suspicious. There is video of emergency responders. His clothes were on the ship. Well, he had a whole wardrobe. I mean, he had a complete like living space. This is a small house. I mean, he had a full wardrobe of clothing. As far as I can tell, there were no like signs of just like bunched up slacks with his button-up shirt like full thrown at the edge of the boat. I don't know. He wasn't in there's no way he was in the water long enough for that to result in his clothes coming off of his body. It's such a mystery. You can find 4-hour-long documentaries just about this mystery alone. For our use today, I'm not sure how that can help us, but let's see here. And this is what I mean. This has been the most difficult thing about putting this information together. There's so many rabbit holes. It's a series of tunnels, and there are rabbit holes in every direction. His naked body was found floating in the Atlantic Ocean several hours later. So he wasn't really in the water long enough for his body to be thrashed around for the clothes to come off, because sometimes that does happen. As morbid as it is, and trigger warning, your body becomes waterlogged. Go figure. I also learned in reading about this, I went down the rabbit hole. There were no bunched up clothes on the edge of the yacht where he might have jumped in, so I don't know. I also learned that, whenever you shower and your hands become pruny, I'm not sure what they call it in the UK. We call it pruny, like your fingers wrinkle up. I always thought that that's because water was being absorbed into your skin. That's not what it is. You'd think we were humans, we should know what that is. It's actually your nerves constricting your skin to protect it. It has nothing to do with your body actually absorbing water. It's crazy. Anyways, his naked body was found floating in the Atlantic Ocean several hours later. He was 68 years old, which isn't very old. I mean, I'm damn near 50, so he, by all accounts, aside from like a heart condition, which many people suffer, he had a good 10, 20 years left in him. Although his diet was garbage. He was a junk food man, high stress. But you don't have a heart attack and end up naked. You don't have a heart attack and your clothes pop off. None of it adds up. Maybe in the future we'll just look at this case in particular. We could spend a whole 2 weeks on it alone. He was 68 years old and he weighed roughly 290 pounds. So he's a big man. I don't know how tall he was, but 290 pounds is a big man. Oh shit, my computer's gonna die. Give me 1 second. There we go. His body was transported to Jerusalem. Hey guys, Mossad. And if you guys don't know what Mossad is, it's the intelligence agency of Israel, the CIA counterpart, the KGB counterpart, so on and so forth. His body was transported to Jerusalem, where he was given a lavish state-like funeral and buried on the Mount of Olives, attended by top Israeli officials. Now, would Mossad be capable of deleting a man and then giving him the most lavish funeral in the world? Absolutely. It's absolutely possible. That's why, my gut tells me if he was like more loyal to Mossad than he was to MI6, it could have just been a deal between MI6 and Mossad to get rid of him together. But then they celebrated him and put him in one of the most prestigious funeral or burial grounds overlooking the Mount of Olives. I can pull up a photo of that if you'd like to see that. And again, attended by top Israeli officials. It's crazy that I'm on YouTube having this type of conversation because I'm not gonna lie to you, man. This shit is scary. It's scary shit. People disappear for this shit. Thankfully, I'm a nobody. So let's see here. Oops, I lost my place. Okay, three conflicting explanations as to how he passed. Officially, three possibilities. Although I know quite well that it's way more than that. Again, it could be a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. Accidental death, which was the official verdict. Well, ain't it always? The initial autopsy concluded that Maxwell died of a heart attack and subsequently fell overboard without his clothes on, right? Nah, I don't think so. Spanish authorities officially ruled out an accidental drowning, suggesting he may have slipped while leaning over the rail. So did he have a heart attack? Did he get butt naked and slip off the boat? Who knows? Self-deletion. Just days after his death, it was revealed that his business empire was billions of dollars in debt, and that he had stolen 460 million pound from his employees' pension fund. Many believe he jumped to avoid the inevitable public disgrace in prison time. Now, I've only been on the open seas one single time. I was on did a training exercise whilst in the Marines in the South China Sea. I was on the USS Not Gonna Tell Ya, and I'm not sure how. If you just jump into a water, that's not an efficient way of self-deletion, like at all. Now, if you get blackout drunk, eat half a bottle of pills, and then do it, but just jumping in the water, your body will automatically try to save its life no matter what your brain wants to do. So I'm just gonna take a fat dump on the accidental death thing, and also self-deletion that way. Who takes all I mean, who knows? Many believe he jumped to avoid the inevitable public disgrace and prison time. I don't buy it. It's more likely that somebody got rid of him. Given his ties to the British, Soviet, and Israeli intelligence, conspiracy theorists, and I hate that term, and if you're paying attention in the world today, all the crazy conspiracy theories from the last 50 years, they're all being proven true. They're all being vindicated. It's just a shame they had to lose their mind for the last 50 years and be ridiculed and discredited. In any case, conspiracy theorists, quote unquote, and even some of his own children suggest that he was murdered. Some independent pathologists noted that the bruising on his body is more consistent with being pushed or held underwater than a fall. Key evidence, physical evidence, no self-deletion note, no explanation from him, no, "Dear Ghislaine, I'm sorry I had to do this," nothing. The yacht's railing was high, making an accidental fall difficult for a man of his stature. He's a big dude. He was due to meet with bankers the very next day to explain missing funds he couldn't account for. But he was also ripping off his own employees' pension funds, like I said, of over almost £500 million. So it could have been a fucking janitor. It could have been one of his employees on the boat. If you guys are interested in taking a deeper dive in just this case later, I'd love to do that. I am interested, it's just I didn't have time to do it all. His final act, he reportedly spent his final evening alone, eating a large meal and appearing stressed to the crew. Well, yeah, stressed because the very next day he had to face the bankers and explain, "Hey man, where's the billion? What is going on here?" Let's see. Okay, so that's that. Let me get back to my slide. We looked at that. Here's a photograph from his funeral. I'm sorry, I wasn't able to source who these people were, mostly family members. Like I said, he had 10 children. One passed away after being in a coma for years from a car accident. And let's face it, we could probably investigate that too if we dig, because, that's Ghislaine right there, though, right here. They're all so bummed, not only because they just lost their pops, but then they all realized that they better rush back to the mansion and grab as much fucking silverware as possible because they're broke. Okay, now moving forward here. Ghislaine moved soon after her father's death. Well, actually, in the timeline, she went to New York City already. Basically how it went down, she traveled to New York City a few months leading up, well, actually almost a whole year before her father's passing. She was the liaison. Cash as blackmail, definitely possible. I'm not sure how how would I know? But there are Netflix documentaries, there are HBO documentaries, there are several books written about this subject. Why does it seem that the rich and famous people cannot off themselves without a conspiracy, or just me? Well, you tell me, bud. Listen, if you were going to do yourself, would you take all your clothes off and just jump in the ocean? How long would it take for you to perish in a situation like that? Let's see. The Lady Ghislaine was sold to Arabian businessman after his death, later purchased by Anna Murdoch. Yeah, another media mogul. The connection to the Arabian Peninsula is undeniable, but that comes along with the intelligence work that he did. But yes, you're absolutely right. I didn't include that. I didn't find it fit into the story. But yes. Okay, let me get back into my notes. It looks like a miserable funeral. Not like all funerals are miserable, particularly this one, because they're all stunned and realize that they're screwed. I mean, they fought with each other like cats and dogs, probably directly after this photograph was taken. They were literally pillaging the mansion for anything they could grab. Okay, so just a year leading up to his passing, Robert traveled with Ghislaine to New York City because he just bought a New York City newspaper. She was his liaison. She stuck around New York for months at a time, as you know, to protect his interest. It's at that time where she met Trump, where she met Jeffrey Epstein, where she met many people. I mean, there were the who's who. How's the music sound? Is it too loud? I see 2 notes from my mods that the music's too loud. I did turn it down a bunch. Hopefully that's enough. Just to be clear too, like as far as who owned the yacht before Rupert Murdoch's ex-wife, there are things that I had to leave out of this simply in the spirit of keeping up with a good time, not good time like a party, but good timing and not waste anyone's time. If it didn't strike me as super important, I didn't include it. It doesn't mean it's not. It's just it didn't seem that way to me. We could do this for 3 years covering this stuff. I promise you. Let me see here. So Ghislaine was already back and forth from New York City, mingling with some of the most powerful people in the world, as you would expect. And that's when she met, the Clintons. She met Trump. She met Jeffrey Epstein. Quickly, Jeffrey Epstein bought her a beautiful $500 property to live in outside of Central Park. He saw her as everything that he wasn't, essentially. She was a socialite. She was highly educated, had an impeccable reputation. Let's see here. Give me 1 second. My notes are out of order. Let's see. So, okay. I've got a timeline here. Just make sure I got this. I'll say we're going to get into the early reports. 1 second, guys. I'm missing a page of my notes. Okay, so she moves to New York City in 1991. That's when the legacy of her relationship with Jeffrey Epstein and a bunch of people. At this time, she first moved to New York City in 1991. She arrived with a significant social pedigree that allowed her to bridge the gap between British royalty and the New York elite. Aside from Jeffrey Epstein, her early associates and social circles included prominent figures. Now listen to the names. So immediately, these are the people she was hanging out with. Of course, Prince Andrew is one of the most notable ones, and the most, I guess, hot topic ones because he's been in the news lately. I think they should really just squeeze that guy and get everything out of him. It seems like, these stories of it couldn't have been me because I don't even sweat. Like, it's just come the fuck on, man. Excuse my language. Prince Andrew, one of her most notable long-term associates. She had been friends with him since her college years at Oxford in the early 1980s. She is credited with introducing him to Jeffrey Epstein in 1992. Donald Trump. She was a fixture in the same Manhattan social circles that Donald Trump were during the early 90s throughout the early 2000s. They were often photographed together at gala events, including at Mar-a-Lago decades later. There's no question about it. I'm sorry, Trump fans, or if there are any left, there's no question about it. She introduced him to Jeffrey Epstein. I don't think that's true. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's true because a lot of people say, including Jeffrey Epstein's brother, that he and Trump were already friends and they were already competing for ladies. Jeffrey Epstein's brother described Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein as wingmen for one another. So do with that what you will. Of course, our president here will be featured in many of the upcoming episodes, not only because it's insane that our president was wrapped up in this, but it's also, how do I say it? It's a big fucking problem. Let's see. One of her other close friends at this time, Naomi Campbell, who was helping her recruit models. Do with that what you will. I'm not sure that Naomi Campbell's ever going to be held responsible for her part in all of this, but Maxwell was part of the social circle that included the supermodel who was reportedly introduced to Maxwell Epstein orbit through a then boyfriend, Italian businessman, and I'm going to fuck this name up so bad, Flavio Briatore. Count Gianfranco, it's CIG or CICOGNA Cigogna. Before her association with Epstein became public, she was reportedly in a relationship with this member of the Siga Hotels chain, a hotel mogul, who was part of her initial social entry into New York City. For those of you that listen to me all the time, you know I live right next to some stinking train tracks, and there's a train coming, so bear with me. I will mute for this. Sorry, it's part of the game. Right? If you're ever wondering why it sounds so loud, it's because it's so densely populated here, and the train tracks basically go right through a neighborhood. So there's a bunch of people that are living on the edge and use the train tracks as a shortcut. Let's see, her professional friends, because her father bought the Daily News Circle as her father's representative at the Daily News. In 1991, she socialized with media executives and journalists associated with the paper during the takeover period. Carrie Kennedy, reports from unsealed documents indicate she maintained a friendship with members of the Kennedy family, specifically Carrie Kennedy, during her time in the U.S. So, hey man, everybody out there that's just like, oh, he's gonna attack Trump or conservatives. Hey man, they're all in it. They're all in it. Democrats, your favorite fucking movie star, your favorite musician, world leaders. It's not a bias thing. It's a class thing. I wish more people would get a grip on that. And it goes on. She was very good friends with Vera Wang. Vera Wang's never going to be held accountable for anything. The fashion designer was among those in a broader elite social circle Maxwell navigated. Later appeared in her personal social records like Epstein's 2003 birthday book. Eleanor Barry, I'm not sure who this is. Maybe you guys would have a better idea. A childhood friend and daughter of Lord Hartwell, a former owner of the Daily Telegraph. That's some Great Britain stuff that I'm unfamiliar with. Let's see. Who remained a close contact in her life for all of her life. Probably still is friends with her. Living and working associates. Iranian social circle. After her father's empire collapsed, she briefly lived in an apartment belonging to an Iranian friend overlooking Central Park, working at a real estate office on Madison Avenue. Yes, she actually did a couple days of work in her posh life. Lindsay Fox, in the early 19 to mid 90s, she and Epstein were known to socialize with the Australian trucking tycoon. Where my Aussies at? You're in it too, guys. Even attending a cruise he organized alongside other business figures like James Packer. I can't tell you. I know who James Packer is, but I'd be happy to look for you. And here she is, a fresh new American with her buddy Jeff. Yes, it does look like Abercrombie and Fitch advertisement. No, it is not. Police reports started almost immediately after these two started or joined forces. I mean, local police reports being inappropriate. Her associates, people that she was meeting, in a lot of ways, they would be hanging out with her, and she would just run away from them and just go talked to some little kid with braces and tried to recruit them into a modeling agency that didn't even exist. She was already recruiting for this man fresh off the boat. It's terrifying. It's true. No official releases of any names of victims. Believe me, I'm going to be as sensitive as I can possibly be about this stuff. I will not be mentioning any victims of these crimes unless they've come out publicly. I know that's going to ruffle your feathers. You want, the most, explosive stuff. I'm not going to do it. There's plenty of YouTube channels that will do it. There's plenty of media outlets that will give you, what you're yearning for. It's not going to happen here. That's not the proper way to do things. Countless, and I do mean countless victims. We may never know how many. Rough estimate is 2,500. It could be 3 times that amount. Already, police are being called on Jeffrey for having inappropriate photographs of children. Several times, cops came, he destroyed. Just like they never did anything. They never did anything because he was probably paying them off. Remember, this is the same time that he went back to Bear Stearns to invest the $30 million that he got from Anna's family, if you watched the last episode. So he's already a multimillionaire, quite possibly encroaching upon billionaire status at this point. When you hear, and if you weren't here for the first episode, you have to know that you'll hear a lot of media sources and a lot of these people, social media people, influencers, dare I say, they're still running this narrative that we have no idea how he got rich. Well, we have every idea. Also, I will introduce a little bit of theory into this, being that her dad was a MI6 agent that worked for Mossad and possibly the KGB at the same time. Jeffrey, old smiling Jeffrey over here, remember who hired him at his first job, was a OSS or CIA agent. There's no coincidence. This is not a coincidence. Even Ace, when he went on to Bear Stearns, they were already controlling the media. And here's Robert Maxwell, who's buying newspapers and influencing media in the U.S. It's all connected. There's no question about it. Sam Hill says, "Can I be petty? Her hair always looks like shit." Well, this is sort of like a typical stepmom's hair in the 90s, though. I mean, that's sort of. Pink Dagger says it's horrible. Let's see. Oh, actually, what did Pink say? There's an entire rabbit hole about Abercrombie and Fitch too. Oh yes, of course. These sick fucks went out. Excuse my language. I usually curse a lot more. I'm doing my best. Not to. We should all be grown-ups. This content is not made for children whatsoever. This is some of the most disturbing, demonic shit you ever see in your life. And if you maybe not yet, but we're getting there. Believe me, some of this may make you lose sleep if you've been purposely ignoring it, like most of the Americans are. It's gonna get you. I promise. They were out there running the world and living the most lavish lifestyles. Makes my stomach turn. Oh yeah, and then you'll see like Jeffrey Epstein, his brother owned that apartment building that our current president was going and picking him up, and they were going out to party. Jeffrey's brother Michael says that Jeffrey's brother Michael is running a fucking modeling agency out of that apartment, and they're also friends with Naomi Campbell, which is heartbreaking. Everybody thought she was just a badass. It turns out she's just a bad ass. But I can't say that for fact because I wasn't there. So, a lot of these allegations are just that, just allegations. Everyone is innocent until they're found face down outside of their yacht on the Canary Islands. I'll say that. Okay, let's keep it moving here. So at this time, the allegations begin. This is tough stuff, man. All right. And again, like I said, I'm only going to be talking about, I'm only going to be naming victims that came forward themselves. I mean, until later. I mean, we'll look at the emails and all the files themselves. Let's see here. Let's see. Okay, well, let me just read my notes here to make sure. Let's see. She famously traveled between London and New York on the Concorde, often accompanying her father on business trips. This is, before he died. Post-death relocation. Following her father's death in November 91 and subsequent collapse of his empire, she moved. It is reported that she took a one-way Concorde flight to the city in 92 to escape the intense social hostility and financial scandal. I think that date's a little late. I think she was already here. Now, there have been one of Epstein's associates, I can't remember his name now, but he said, and he was pretty staunch about this. He said, no. Ghislaine and Epstein met each other through Robert Maxwell all the way back in the 80s, which may be true. There's no way for me to confirm that. It's impossible. Like a lot of this stuff, I'll put it to you this way. If the fucking FBI can't figure it out, I don't think I'm going to be able to figure it out with my Chromebook in Pittsburgh. Although you never know. So there's that. I'm going to keep it moving. Okay, let's talk about how they met, because there's a couple different versions of how they did meet. Most reports place their first meeting in 91. This is a significant transition for a year for Maxwell. Her father, Robert, passed away. He recently purchased the New York Daily Times or New York Daily News, and that's when she was introduced to all these people in New York City. Some sources, including Epstein, here we go. I did note it. Haha! Look at the big brains on Dave. Some sources, including Epstein's former business partner, Stephen Hoffenberg. So at least we have a name. Stephen's still alive. So if you guys want to go ask Stephen, hey man, when did they really meet? You're more than welcome to try. I emailed the guy, no response, no surprise there. Stephen claimed that they met and they were introduced as early as 1989, but 91 is the widely accepted date for their first close association. How they met, the social scene. It says there's two primary possibilities in the way they met, but who really knows? If they met back in the 80s, then all of this information is sort of questionable anyways. The social scene reports state they met in New York at a New York party shortly after Maxwell moved to the city. At this time, she was navigating a high-profile breakup and was grieving the sudden death of her father. Now, I'm gonna interject my own theory here. Jeffrey Epstein's father passed away just a month and a half after Ghislaine's father passed. So there's some trauma bonding there. We all know trauma bonding. We do that here on YouTube like fucking pros, don't we? So yeah, I think that's what their bond was. I mean, they did have a sexual relationship. There's no question about that. But that was short-lived, and then she became, we'll get there. At the time, she was navigating a high-profile breakup and was grieving the sudden death of her father in November 91. That's the whole face down outside the yacht thing. Another theory suggests Robert Maxwell himself may introduce them. Robert was known to have a vast network of international business and intelligent contacts. And some believe Epstein was part of that circle. I'm one of those people that believe that. It makes sense to me. Simply because, remember, already Robert Barr, or Donald Barr, Bill Barr's father, the future Attorney General, he became the Attorney General for Senior Bush and Trump 1.0. So it's pretty funny that this intel agent that hired Jeffrey Epstein at the high school that he worked at is an intelligence guy, and so is Ghislaine's father. It's really not a big world. I know the intelligence world is not really big. That's why then you say these double agents and these triple agents, and I hope I don't get murdered for this, but they often work together. I mean, very easily do they work together, especially with these characters that speak several languages. That's one of the most vital parts of, you have to be out of your mind and you have to speak different languages, and then they'll use you for all you're worth. They became friends. Let's see, their friendship developed rapidly. I think by all accounts, that's true. They hit it off. And I think why they hit it off was this trauma bonding. They both lost their fathers. You can call me crazy for that. That's my own theory. I didn't find that anywhere. Just the proximity of the death of their parents or their fathers in such close proximity. There's got to be something to that. There's got to be something to that. Maybe not. Who knows? But that's what that is. Social currency. Maxwell, an Oxford-educated socialite with deep ties to the European royalty and British elite, provided Epstein with social polish, a little bit of shine. Remember, because he was faking to be an American royal when he was just, lower middle class Jewish kid from Coney Island. So I mean, if you saw part one, I explained that. I think I did a pretty good job with that. You can judge for yourself, but he was faking it until he made it. So when he became a lover with Ghislaine here, it gave him credibility. It gave him even more access that he'd already gained from working with Bear Stearns. He's building a Rolodex, and now we'll get to the Rolodex. Probably not in this episode. That'll be coming. That when we get into the files themselves, his Rolodex becomes important. An Oxford-educated socialite with deep ties to European royalty and British elite, provided Epstein with the social polish and high-level introductions he lacked. I mean, even you could be an investment banker in Bear Stearns, but you're still a fucking nobody to the royals, and the super elite. You're still working. These people don't work, and that's what he wanted to get. The life of ease and access to billions, which he did probably more successfully than any other lower middle class Jewish kid from Coney Island. Excuse my stutter. In return, Epstein provided Maxwell with a lavish lifestyle and financial security. Remember, she broke. I mean, she had to get a job in real estate. It must have been humiliating for her to go from having access to billions of dollars and living in a castle to living in a fucking flat in New York. Even though I'm sure she did fine. Arguably, she's an attractive woman. Sort of a model-esque body for what models look like at the time. So she wasn't going hungry. I'll just say that. In return, I already read that. Let's see. Lavish lifestyle and financial security after her father's empire collapsed, leaving her family with significant debt. I don't know how much debt she was held accountable for. Probably none. Remember, she was her father's favorite child, so I'm sure even if the family had to pay off some of his debt, she was probably, firstly, she escaped the country and came to the U.S., giving distance from any kind of reach of law. But she was probably protected in advance of whatever happened to her father. By 1992, Maxwell had moved into a managerial role in Epstein's life. This is when my title comes in, the fixer. She went from being an exciting new lover for Jeffrey Epstein. He was probably bored with that part of their relationship pretty quickly, because as we now know, he had a different taste when it comes to his proclivities. I'm going to try to use my words as gently as possible here. I think you get it. All right. Hang on, I lost my spot. Here we go. Next page. She began overseeing his various properties and households, eventually becoming what employees described as, quote unquote, the lady of the house. I searched that. I got 30 different definitions, so make of that what you will. A key figure in his personal and professional hierarchy. By February 1993, they were publicly associated with one another, and their relationship remained a central part of their lives for the next several decades. Okay. All right. Guys, I have to step away for just a second to use the restroom. So I'm not sure the best way to do this. I should put on a song, I suppose. Yes. It's just going to take me a minute or two, and I'll be right back. Let me just pull up a song. I tried to find a song in Creator Studio. There's a couple songs called Epstein. I'm not gonna fucking do that. What's a proper song for this? Here, I'll do it this way. Sorry, I should have done this more ahead of time. Let's see. Also want something that's not 20 minutes long. Give me 1 second, okay, guys? I picked this song. I mean, I'm not sure how much you can expect, but this song, it's a very long song, so I'll probably cut it off when I come back. This might be a good time to refresh your drink, use the bathroom yourself, take the dog out to pee really quickly, whatever you got to do. I'll be back. This is a very long song, but we won't listen to the whole thing. I'll be back. It usually takes me 3 minutes to freshen my coffee and use the bathroom. So let me just pull this up for you. Intermission, if you will. I hope you guys are getting something from this. Please hit the thumbs up. I'll be BRB. You're gonna play a British song, huh?
Explain you
All right, so I forgot that I put the coffee pot in to be washed, so no coffee for me, but I did have a chance to use the bathroom, so that's good. All right, let's see here. Hope you guys enjoyed that. And look at this. The name of that band is The Main Squeeze. I mean, come on. Is it perfect? No. Is it pretty cool? Yeah. All right, let's see here. So we get back to the slide presentation. Bing bong. Okay, the cheese asked about the Terramar project. That doesn't come along until 2012. Before she has a presentation to the UN and does TED Talks with her philanthropist work and her projects that she set up, there are allegations that begin. Nothing good. And is that music at a good level there, just to make sure? All right, so we're going to keep moving here. We will get into that, just briefly touch on that Terramar project. I'll tell you what it is. It's right here in my notes. It was a nonprofit organization founded by Ghislaine in September 2012, nominally dedicated to ocean conservation, which is crazy because her dad was found face down in the ocean. I mean, just coincidental, I suppose. It became the central part of Maxwell's public identity for nearly a decade. But before that, the allegations began. And let me just move this forward. This is the apartment building that Jeffrey bought for Ghislaine, $5 million. Beautiful estate. You gotta be kidding me. Like, she found her way back to the fucking castle, didn't she? I mean, come on. Let me just check chat and see what you guys are saying. Is it making sense? David Gilmour is underrated as a guitar player. Absolutely. And that was a knockoff. That was a cover band. I simply can't play too much Pink Floyd. Can't play Pink Floyd at all. They're not, and they shouldn't be very sharing with their hard work. But I agree, David Gilmour is a legend. Let there be no question about that. Blue says this has been ongoing before Epstein, Boys Town cover up, Franklin cover up. Well, this problem of the elites just pillaging everything that's sacred in this world is nothing new. It's truly nothing new. It goes back to cavemen. It truly does. The organizations began at the dawn of time to control people and things like that. Let's see. I liked the live Berlin Pink Floyd. Fantastic. Pearl, good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Pearl says a lot of Jimmy's stuff was pretty open secret. I mean, if you just look at that guy. If you guys don't know who Jimmy Savile is, do yourself a favor and look. But don't dig too deep because you won't be able to sleep. The Gossip Forum Pop Bitch was mostly journalists and TV researchers posting anonymously, and they were always speaking of his reputation. Yeah, I mean, I tell you what, you'll find that as a through line to all this entire story. Thousands of people look the other way, either out of fear, self-preservation, or their own perversion to what was happening to the victims of this. Let's see here. Louis Mountbatten, uncle of Andrew. I was like, I know that name. Got away with his crimes against young boys. No wonder Andrew thought he was untouchable. And I wonder if he still does think he's untouchable. I tell you what, though, in the way of intel resources, Andrew knows a lot more than I'm not sure how long that Andrew is going to be alive. I'll just put it that way. Lou says, Pearl, yeah, because Untouchable was the game, locked in an untouchable generation to generation. Pearl says, you can get away with a lot if you wave the stench away with enough dollars. That's exactly it. And sometimes you don't even have to pay somebody off. You just have to give them, just being friends with them. Just, for instance, when Jeffrey became friends with Ghislaine, she had nothing to offer him financially, but she had status to offer him. She had a Rolodex that made his Rolodex look like college friends. He did get arrested recently. I do understand he's already been released. I'm not sure what freedom looks like for him, like I said, I don't expect him to live much longer than the next couple of months. They'll do the old-fashioned trick of self-deletion, and they'll be like, "That's it. That's all." It can't be true. All right, let's keep it moving here. So this is her. How's the music? Is that too loud? Let me know, guys. Okay, so we're gonna get into the victims here. These were the couple of the first outspoken victims. Let me get to my notes so I don't fuck this up. Okay. While the full extent of their activities did not result in criminal charges until much later, there were specific reports of criminal conduct involving Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein that emerged in the 1990s. Based on unsealed federal indictments and recent documents released, here are the first reported crimes and allegations from that decade. And let's just be honest with each other. Just because these were the first reports and first whistleblowers or victims coming forward, it was already taking place. I mean, there are countless victims before, and my mind tells me with how dark things can be that there's only been a slight disruption in these type of organizations in trafficking human beings. It didn't start yesterday. It didn't end yesterday. There are going to be, if there aren't already, a dozen Jeffrey Epsteins in this world. Ghislaine Maxwell, even though she's a pretty specific type person, there are others. I promise you. Let's see here. So Maria Farmer, her and her sister, they were the first ones. They came forward, and this happened in August of 1996. So sticking in line with our timeline, not long after that Abercrombie and Fitch photo that I showed you, right around that time, Maria Farmer came forward. The nature of the report: Farmer filed a complaint with the NYPD and the FBI alleging both Epstein and Maxwell had inappropriately assaulted her and her sister Annie, that's who we see on the screen there, at Wexner Estate in Ohio. That's Les Wexner. He's a real creepy mother. He just got deposed. I tried to watch it. It was 4 hours long. That's going to come later as well in my series. A real creepy human being, man. I mean, just about as creepy as you can be. Wexner is playing coy. At one point during the deposition, Les Wexner, his lawyer, reached over to him, wrapped his arm around his shoulder, sternly grabbed him, and with a smile on his face said, "If you answer this question, I'm going to kill you." I mean, they just laughed it off. I don't think that shit's funny. It's terrifying. So likely these lawyers are also intel agents. But what do I know? I'm just some asshole with a Chromebook. Let's see. Farmer also reported that Epstein possessed CSAM, described later in FBI files as child, well, you get it, or naked or semi-naked hard copy pictures. The outcome of that initial report, this is disgraceful. The outcome of the formal report, the NYPD complaint, 1996, and the name of the report, if you got a pen or pencil and you want to Google it yourself, the report was 0067241. The FBI did not open a formal investigation at this time, a failure that has been a major point of recent legal and congressional scrutiny. Let's just face it, man. The authorities do what they're told, not what they want to do. Even if those FBI officers that originally investigated, along with just officers from the NYPD, I guarantee they went back to their offices to file reports, and they got a phone call, they got a knock on the door. That's what makes this shit so terrifying. Nobody's untouchable. Nobody's safe from, orchestrated self-deletions, The indictment period from 94 to 97. The 2020 federal indictment against Ghislaine Maxwell specifically identified a pattern of criminal conduct beginning in 1994. So we see 1994, the FBI is already investigating and they're building a case against them. So 94 to 97. This is so stressful to listen to or to read. Maria Farmer came forward in 96. So from between 94 and 96, who knows how many victims there were. Hopefully these men and women find the bravery in the I don't know if you have to be crazy to come forward or if you have to be brave, but I hope they find that strength no matter where they pull it from. Alleged crimes: conspiracy to entice minors to travel to engage in illegal acts, and the transportation of minors for the purpose of, well, grooming tactics. Prosecutors alleged that from 94 to 97, Maxwell played a critical role in recruiting and grooming girls as young as 12 years old. These early crimes were reported to have taken place in London, New York, Paris, Florida, New Mexico, and I mean, who the fuck, wherever they were, it was happening. Early witness allegations, early 90s. During the 2021 trial, a witness referred to as Jane testified about an encounter in the early 90s, roughly 1994. The incident. She testified that she met Maxwell and Epstein while attending Interlochen arts camp. She alleged that Maxwell befriended her and her mother, which led to a multi-year period of grooming and eventual abuse when she was a minor. I know this is tough to listen to, and I do have a video to share with you that is an interview with Maria Farmer. So I think there's some value in that. Let's have a look. Give me a second. If I can find it. This is from 60 Minutes. Hopefully I won't get a copyright strike from this. If I do, then it's God's will. So, supposedly she's the first person to come forward, Maria, to tell about her and her sister Anna. I don't know if that's true. I don't know how I would know that. Savannah Guthrie interviewed Virginia and others, victim survivors. Yeah, I mean, that's where the conspiracy comes in, that they think that a lot of people, and listen, I'm no longer in my life am I going to dismiss somebody for being a conspiracy theorist. I don't know if that makes me a crazy person or a rational person. But in any case, we can no longer be dismissive of these conspiracies, because we're finding that so many of them have become true. I mean, even something as wild as the Pizzagate stuff, there are elements of that have now been proven true. And I know my friend Pink Dagger here, he definitely knows, or she definitely knows. Let's see here. All right, so here's Maria. Maria's an artist. Shout out all my artists out there. That's what I do for a living when I'm not making a couple shekels on YouTube.
You've seen Ghislaine Maxwell up close and personal. What sort of personality was exposed to you? What did you see in her?
She was very effervescent and bubbly at first when you would meet her. She was lovely. She had a great vocabulary. She was one of those people who could talk to anyone and make them laugh. But she was also very...
Maria's a spitfire. I mean, she's a badass and really not crazy, but brave. I'm not sure how this affected her art sales. I'm willing to bet that there, maybe there was a silver lining there, whereas people might want to be more interested in the artwork that she makes. I didn't have a chance to dig that far.
Silly and immature, like she was a teenager kind of humor. And it wasn't really that...
I mean, terrifying.
Funny, but because she was so charming and well-dressed and well-spoken, she could kind of get away with saying weird things, because it would take a minute to recognize, is that what she said? So she had a way of, she liked to disarm people, make them feel a little bit unsteady. And Jeffrey was the same way.
Did you see a more sinister side to her?
Yes. She would go shopping, for part of the day, and go all down Madison Avenue and come back with all these bags and be in the best mood.
And I promise we'll have a chance to see we'll have a chance to watch and listen to exactly how Ghislaine spoke. I mean, specifically, like she's brought up that organization, that nonprofit that she created to save the oceans. I'm going to show you some examples of her speaking not only to the UN, the United Nations, but also to audiences at TED Talk organizations. What's up with Marlena? I didn't see what she said. Shoot, I still don't see it. What the heck? What's going on with Marlena? Not feeling well? I'm sorry, girl. Get well soon. Take a break from this place, Marlena. As strange as it sounds, like covering this tragic shit is sort of a break from the drama for me. And you know what? I hate to be unprofessional here. I'm not a professional. I'm a professional amateur. I do have a phone call that I just received that it's vital that I ring back. So just give me 2 minutes. I'll make it as quick as possible. All right, sorry about that, guys. I did my best. Yes, I was muted. I had to take a phone call really quickly. I'm still a functioning human being. It's not all about YouTube, although I try to make it that way. All right. I looked at a lot of her paintings, Maria Farmer's paintings. Pretty cool stuff. You can tell that she's seen some shit, which is my favorite kind of art. My favorite artist is Jean-Michel Basquiat. If you know anything about him, you understand that the people that have seen some shit do produce the best art.
Because she'd bought all these things, or she'd go rollerblading and then be in a great mood. And then she would turn like that. And like as school's getting out, she's like, I've got to get the nubiles. I'm going to get the nubiles. And it was just like a switch in her personality. You know, it was very strange, very strange.
When you repeat what she had said, that she...
And that, you know, whenever heard her say that, it really makes me think that, like, how many people was like, oh, that's strange. And of course we come across a bunch of friggin' weirdos on the internet. But when you're face to face with someone, it's a physical impression. Your body tells you what's going on. How many thousands of people encountered these goons, and maybe they were just scared, or maybe they just knock themselves over the head with cognitive dissonance, that like there's no way that what is happening is what I looked at is what's happening. You know, we justify these things in our head, so we don't go crazy. I mean, so we don't like lose sleep. I guarantee you there are hundreds of people that are dealing with beating themselves up because they weren't brave enough, or something like that. Sammy JC says very bipolar. I'm not sure how to diagnose, but I mean, whatever's wrong with these people, I'm sure it's something that's difficult to pronounce. And I'm sorry you're gonna have to step away. Not part of the plan, but we're living our life as we communicate with each other here.
has to get the nubiles. What did she mean by that?
Okay, so when I asked her what she meant by that, she said she needed models for Victoria's Secret. And she said she needed models for like the limited corporation is what Epstein called it. So she said it wasn't just for Victoria's Secret, but it was mostly for them. And because one time I asked, like, why are they so young? And she said the limited corporation has a lot of companies and these girls model.
And remember, one of Ghislaine's good friends at the time is Naomi Campbell. So it's not my place to drop stink on Naomi Campbell. She may have been just naive and trying to get some power grab like every fucking buddy else in this world. It could be But it seems more sinister than that. And even the fact that Jeffrey Epstein's brother Michael, all the way back when Jeffrey was getting hired on his new power position at Bear Stearns, his brother ran a modeling agency out of the apartment building that Jeffrey lived in, and his brother owned. I don't know, man. I guess the ultimate lesson is, like, if you see something, you got to be brave. You got to be brave. And here's the scary thing: how many people went to the authorities, and the authorities were like, "Oh yeah, we took a report. We took a report." I mean, we now know through what's coming out in these investigations that many victims came forward, and that exact thing happened to them. These FBI agents took a report, and these people thought, "Oh, well, finally something's being done." And then maybe a couple of years later, they're contacted again by the FBI, and these people are already beaten down and mentally thinking that no one's going to help me. And then they're like, "Oh, maybe now they're going to help me," and still no help at all. It's terrifying, man. It's truly terrifying.
Okay, Maria, and they start young. And I thought it was really strange because I did see a couple girls in braces, and I've never seen a model with braces. And then all of them were completely flat-chested, and sometimes they'd be wearing a uniform, being marched upstairs. And one day a girl came down crying, and I asked Ghislaine, "Why is she crying?" And she said, "She didn't get the job. She needs to toughen up. She needs to learn how to toughen up. The modeling world's tough."
And I will give you a fair warning. Not so much the rest of this episode, but the beginning of the next episode, things become more detailed and graphic, and I will do my best to navigate using the words that we're allowed to use here. It's risky no matter what, but I'm going to do my best.
So, I mean, who was I to question? I was just the slave at the door, But after a while, I just felt uncomfortable, no matter who they were bringing in. I said, I don't feel comfortable. This is weird. It's a very strange thing.
Were you ever present when Ghislaine Maxwell recruited girls for Jeffrey Epstein?
Yes, absolutely. So several times I was in the car with her. I didn't know what she was doing, of course. I thought she was getting models because that's
and thank goodness that Maria is so well spoken,
what she said. And so she would ask the driver to stop the car, and then he would just stop it immediately, and she'd dash across to the school or the park or wherever she was going, and she would write down her phone number for a child, a young girl, and then she'd get their phone number, and then I'd see that child at the house, and she'd say, "They're auditioning, I found a model in the park." And I've never been in the modeling world, so I just thought that was the strangest thing, but I also thought, well, maybe these children are being discovered. People get discovered.
It wasn't just modeling agencies and models that they were, making promises of riches and fame to. They were doing the same thing with, with Jeffrey's connections to NYU and the ballet department. They weren't picky. I mean, it's terrible to say it that way, but they weren't picky. It could just be, it could have been like, these victims, their dads were friends with Jeffrey, and then, the parents weren't paying close enough attention, or he could just walk up to you in the park and just flatter you and make you promises of riches and fame. It was a disgusting time for. Listen, these are just the names that we know. These people learned these movements from somebody. They also had competitors, dare I say, men and women we'll never hear about. What I fear is these people aren't as original or distinct as a lot of people think. Especially us in America, we're so distracted with everything, trying to survive with how expensive everything is. We're not paying close enough attention. Cash says they are not picky; they are evil. Exactly right. Well, please excuse me with the words. I don't know how to talk about this stuff. This isn't something that is normal to talk about. Although it's vital that we do.
Very odd.
As you can see, her art definitely reflects. This is Les Wexner. I don't know who some of these people are, but you get the idea.
So for 18 years, I've been in hiding, and I've
There's Bubba, Bill Clinton. This is obviously Donald Trump.
continued to receive threatening phone calls from
I don't know who this is. It looks Giuliani-like, but I don't know how. I guess I'd have to search the files to see how involved he was. But remember, Giuliani. Well, it could be Giuliani because he was already an up-and-coming politician there in New York City. It's all connected, man. I know that sounds crazy and dismissive, but it's all connected, man.
Ghislaine Maxwell.
How recently have you been threatened by Ghislaine Maxwell?
It's been about 5 years now, was my last time. But the problem is when you've been emotionally terrorized like that, and with all the promises and the different ways she promised me I would die, I can't even.
Let's see. Grandma Sherry says kind of like Frida Kahlo. Yes, exactly. I mean, there's so much art that's disturbing. I studied art in college, and it's was there a flying saucer in her painting? Yes, the flying saucer with Jeffrey Epstein's face popping out of it, actually. But excuse me for my lack of memory here, but the melting clock artist was Dali. Same thing. Salvador Dali. I mean, we only know, oh, look at the cool melting clocks, but if you really dig deep in his drawings, not necessarily the paintings, but the drawings are just so fucking disturbing, man. And I'm not making any allegations towards him. What I'm saying is, oftentimes trauma and the worst violent type of experiences create art that is bold and will stick with you forever.
Go outside peacefully. I had Ghislaine promising me multiple ways that people were going to be killing me.
Do you believe that Ghislaine Maxwell has the capability, the power to do that? To actually hire people
Absolutely.
to kill you?
Mm-hmm. Yes, she's very well connected. She made sure of it, that we all knew it. So I believe her. I believe her. And that's why I think I'm still alive.
What sort of threats has she made against you?
So originally it started with things like, I'm gonna burn your art. And then I'm gonna burn your career. And then I'm gonna burn you and the house you live in.
I don't know if any of you are artists out there, but the threat to burn somebody's art is just about as personal as it gets. I mean, I know that it seems maybe unbelievable to some people, but you might as well say you're going to burn my house. You might as well say you're going to burn me. I don't know. Maybe because of who I am, I have a different perspective. But imagine someone telling you that, do what I say or I'll destroy what you are.
And then it was like, well, you better be careful while you're jogging because there's so many ways to die there. And then it was, oh, be careful crossing a street. You can get shot in the back of the head because that's how Mossad shoots you. Just a lot of veiled threats, but they were threats against my life.
Now, I wonder if they actually made a direct threat in the way of saying Mossad. And shout out Mossad. I'm not a challenge to you, man. Leave me out of it. That's a slap to the face, 100%. Yeah. Not only do artists make their living oftentimes, which Maria did, that's what she does for a living or did for a living and still does. And I even think this is her jewelry as well. Yeah, they're saying, I'm going to take away your ability to survive. And sometimes that's more threatening than saying I'm going to harm you ultimately and, delete you, so to speak.
And I told the FBI this, and I asked for witness protection, and I never received it. And I'm asking that they do their job so that we're not tormented forever. But instead, the people who rape children go to prison. That's where they need to be.
I agree. Thanks, Tara Brown, for sharing that interview with me. Okay, we're just going to go a little bit further today, and that's all I've got for part 2. Part 3, we're going to get into the files themselves, and we're going to get into Ghislaine's prosecution, and then we're going to touch a little more. We're going to get into a little. What a terrible choice of words. We're going to get into more of who the victims were and what we're doing now to protect them. And we're going to show. I'm going to try to show to the best of my ability how the government is prohibiting justice in this case. I mean, it's so blatant. It's right in your face, and it's at the highest levels, from our president to our politicians, to FBI directors, to Department of Justice officials. I mean, just we're gonna have a good solid hour on who the fuck Pam Bondi is. It's really bad, dude. It's really bad. So let me just tell you quickly. Give me 1 second. Sorry, I've got a crazy fucking. Okay, hold on a second. Hold on. I just pulled this up because I didn't get this far. Let me play this for you. Hold on. Let me see if I can reset it. The handling of Maria Farmer's 96 allegations are considered one of the most significant failures in history of Epstein investigation. For nearly 30 years, her claims were largely ignored and dismissed by federal authorities. A fact that only became officially confirmed through the Epstein files in 2025. In August 96, Maria Farmer, an artist who had worked for Epstein, contacted NYPD after being physically threatened by him. This is what she was just talking about. She reported that she and her 16-year-old sister, Annie, had been assaulted by Epstein and Ghislaine at the Wexner estate in Ohio. And we already told you that. And the NYPD told Farmer they could only handle local threats and be advised to contact the FBI because the alleged crimes spanned multiple states. Listen, man, that's a crock of shit. I think we can all agree that if a child comes to an authority figure and said, hey, man, this just happened to me, that their answer is, oh, you have to contact somebody else. Well, what do you mean I have to contact somebody else? I just contacted you. You're the fucking police. I don't know how this happens. I don't know if we'll ever know. And, well, that's a little bit further. That's where she was arrested. We're not there yet. Let's see. According to recent legal filings and unsealed documents, the FBI's response was effectively non-existent. That is to say, they did nothing. I don't know if it was a directive from their superiors, most certainly so, but likely it came from a much higher place. Welcome in, Army Brat, 1976. We were just talking about Army brats earlier, or military brats earlier. There's a few of us floating around here. I myself was in the military, but as a result, I met a lot of military brats in my time. And I hate using that term, but if you're okay with it, I'm okay with using it too. For some reason, it has negative connotations, the word brat, but if you know, you know. It's not really an insult. Let's see, the hang-up. Farmer has testified that when she called the FBI to report the trafficking ring, an agent abruptly hung up on her mid-sentence. Hung up the phone. Now just try to put yourself in a position when you're calling someone for help. Who do you call? You call the authorities. They hung up on her? The FBI hangs up the phone on you. Now, if you're Julie Skolnick, a crazy YouTuber, I can see why not YouTube, but why FBI would hang up on you. But what the hell? Lack of follow-up, despite... Oh, sorry, dude. I gotta let this cat out. 1 second. I'm the worst pet owner ever. I'm like, why is the cat so upset? It's like, oh yeah, I fucking was live when I should have filled the cat bowl up with food. So sorry about that, guys. I'm back. All right. So she was hung up on? I don't know how that's even possible, dude. Despite the FBI logging her report, how could they log a report if they hung up on her? Identified in internal records as CSAM complaint, they conducted no interviews, issued no subpoenas, and did not contact her for a decade. If you don't know what a decade is, that's 10 years. That's unacceptable. Let's see here. Now, there's a report called the FD-71 report. For years, the FBI denied or failed to acknowledge a formal report existed. However, in December 2025, that's just a couple of weeks ago, report which proved they had documented her allegations as early as September 3rd, 1996. Now, with all of these intelligence agents that are wrapped up into this situation, I'm going to share with you one of the darkest things that is true about humanity. And there's no question in my mind that it's true in this case. When the FBI found out that this was happening, if they didn't already know. Oh, my neighbor's bumping music now. Perfect timing. A lot of times the FBI will find something out like this and they'll contact the CIA and other intelligence agencies and they'll say, whoa, don't do anything. These are rich and powerful people connected to other criminals and they'll just permit it to happen because it then becomes a fucking psyop where they're just collecting intel on all these other people. And then everybody starts blackmailing each other. Sorry about the music. There's nothing I can do. I have a deal with my neighbor. I won't complain about his music if he doesn't complain about mine. So let's see. So this report, you can search for it on the internet. I haven't been able to find an official copy of it, so I'm not presenting here. I'm just referencing it. December 2025, the Bureau released the FD-71 report, which proved they had documented allegations as early as 96. A systemic cover-up, recent developments in late 2025 and early 2026, that's right now, have brought intense scrutiny to why the report was ignored. Congressional investigation in December 2025, U.S. Representative Robert Garcia demanded an investigation by the Department of Justice General Inspector into the FBI files as to why the FBI failed to protect survivors despite having actual knowledge of the crimes dating back to the mid to late 90s. Negligence lawsuits. Maria Farmer filed a major lawsuit. We just saw Maria, she's the artist. She filed a major lawsuit against the U.S. government in 2025, claiming that the FBI's gross negligence allowed Epstein to continue abusing hundreds of additional victims for another 23 years. Now we got the NYPD, the FBI, and the DOJ. All of them just sitting on their hands and not doing anything, purposely not doing anything. Now, I'm not going to blame individual police officers or FBI agents because they're only doing what they're told. I pray that there are whistleblowers from these organizations to come true, but let's face it, knowing what we know now, the music's distracting me, I'm sorry. It's at great risk if anybody comes forward. So it's going to have to take somebody that's crazy or brave or a combination of both. Jeez, God, I used to be a phone operator. No shit. The fact that these people are powerful, it makes sense. Yeah, teaching, it's fucking scary. And this is going to be my stopping point because I'm not going to get, we're going to get into Mrs. Dupree. It gets really dark. I mean, that's going to be one of the toughest subjects or toughest part of this to talk about because that young lady lost her life. There's a huge conspiracy. It was just accidentally leaked in the emails from the Epstein files that it was a gunshot wound. It's supposedly self-inflicted. I'm not sure. Her dad believes that that's true. It's one of the most tragic existences. It seemed like everybody in the world was taking advantage of her, and Virginia deserved better. To my Aussie friends, you probably know she had dual citizenship, Australian American. The fallout from this specific failure led to the introduction of Virginia's Law in early 2026, and it aimed at preventing similar institutional negligence in future trafficking cases. This is why I shared the other day, and I can only speak for Americans. I'm not sure how it works exactly in the UK or in Australia or where you are in the world. But you can simply go to your web browser and type in house.gov. When you do that, in the upper right-hand corner, it says put in your zip code. You put your zip code in there and it will tell you who your representative is. The Podesta emails, that comes later. That's going to come whenever I have some people up on panel, because there's a lot to that. That gets into the Pizzagate allegations on all of that, but I just want to keep it clean and on point here. We're going to dive straight into, in the next episode, we're going to show Ghislaine's trial as much as I can show you. I'm going to show you her 2016 deposition, which is strangely difficult to find in its entirety. I have seen a couple of YouTubers that were able to. I wish she lived to see the start to come out properly. Rest well, Virginia. Exactly right. It's brutal, and if you listen to Virginia's story and your heart isn't broken, then you're not a human being. We're not the same. But I think I'm going to leave it there for now. Part 3 will come day after tomorrow. I hope you learned something here. I'm not sure if you did. I tell you what, I've done the work, and I've got all my notes and my videos and everything together for the next episode. It's gonna get rough, and I'm not just trying to bolster this. It gets really bad from here on in. Specifically, we'll see the complete failure of our government, not just our government, but many governments. We see the royals are actually, seems like they're doing the right thing, but are they? We'll get into that. If nothing else, what's happening with Prince Andrew and him hopefully being held accountable to some extent. Hopefully that reverberates. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully it has an impact on how our government does things. Hopefully these people won't feel so safe in their madness. But I'm going to leave it on that note. Let me take this down. What I'll do before I leave here, I'm going to show you just a sneak peek ahead of time. So obviously Ghislaine was arrested, and boy, is she a slippery bitch. I tell you that much. She was just trying to hide out in the United States, like she was going to get away with that. Now, how in the world? So just a sneak peek for next week's episode. Actually, I want to show you how she speaks before we leave today. I want you to hear how she speaks. And Cheese, if you're still here, this is her speaking at the United Nations about her terraform. The reason I think it's important for you guys to see how she speaks is because she's so well spoken. It's nightmare fuel. I don't know. I think it's just me, but I think of these evil people like dummies, or it's exactly the opposite. At least they can present as though they're in control, and and the fact is they are intelligent. That's what makes it even scarier.
I'm now going to invite the person who has been the inspiration behind the Sustainable Oceans Alliance, who really...
I mean, have you ever been invited to the UN to give a speech? I'll skip ahead here to where she comes up. Listen how well spoken she is. Remember, she's a socialite. She's faking it right now.
I'll do my best. First of all, Your Excellencies, Presidents, Lords, ladies and gentlemen, I just would like to thank you so much, and it's such an honor to be here. I'm here representing civil society. My passion for the ocean, for those of you, there's a slideshow going up there, so you don't just have to hear me, you can see the pictures as well. Started when I was a little girl. I grew up watching Jacques Cousteau on TV and became mesmerized with the oceans. It led to me becoming a deep worker submersible pilot. And ultimately, on one of my first dives, when I went down expecting
a hanger?
To see a fish, I switched on the lights at the bottom of the ocean and saw a plastic hanger. It was in that moment, actually, that I decided that I really wanted to focus my attention on.
I mean, it's a bunch of rubbish, as my British friends would say. I just wanted you guys to see. I mean, her accent, her posturing, her tenor, it's all very disarming. It seems like someone that you would trust. I don't know, man. This shit fucks me up. Thank you so much for being here. I'll be back tomorrow on this channel for some shenanigans. No Epstein stuff. I can only do it every other day because it takes me a day to get the next day ready. So she's looking for Atlantis. You know what? You just never know, Grandma Sherry. I mean, truly never know. And then as we go down the road, we'll get into all the crazy stuff. The human cloning and the seeding of the world that Jeffrey Epstein had planned. Were they eating people? I mean, all of these things, as crazy as they sound, it's absolutely possible. But I don't want to rush the Virginia story. I'm going to start with that at the beginning of my next episode. So it's going to be heavy. Be a grown up. Let me just say thanks to everybody who's here that didn't make a joke out of this, because I'm a fart joke, shit talking type of person. And the only reason I'm talking about this stuff is because nobody else is. I mean, especially, you and I, we spend so much time on the internet together, and most of the time we're not doing anything useful at all with our time here. And I'm aware of that, and so the fuck are you. So my point is, let's talk about something serious and be adults about it. And I thank you for being able to do that. I was intimidated by this because, I've got a lot of people that don't like me because I call them negative words on the internet. This is more important than anything I've ever spoken about on the internet, by far. There's a reason that I can't speak what's happening in other countries, but we're looking the other way as a whole. And it's just, my fear is that 5 or 10 years from now, this is all going to be swept, and we're all going to be sitting here looking like conspiracy theorists. I'm okay with looking like a crazy person. I'm going to do my best to share what I know, and I promise you'll have an opportunity to take a link and come up, and we'll get into the crazy possibilities. We built a foundation. The foundation is built to this story. We're going to move forward for victims' impact statements. We're going to go into the provable network of people. It's going to be uncomfortable for some of you people because it's you people. What the fuck is that? It's going to be uncomfortable for some of us because it's going to be people that we voted for, someone that wrote our favorite song, things like that. So be prepared to be shocked. If you're not, we're not the same. A shekel for your time. Thanks, Gash. I appreciate you. And I'll take this time to thank everyone who did contribute to the channel with their monies. I do appreciate it. And I promise it's not for money. I did put in some work, so I do appreciate it. I feel a lot better making a few bucks, sharing some actual factual information with you than I do talking shit on people. Although talking shit is where the money's at. Again, Unstoppable Jojo became a member to the highest level of my channel. Thank you so much. Melissa, if you're still around, thank you very much. Michelle588 said, let's show sinners some love by donating some money. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you for deep diving for us. And you, those of you that have been really at this, know that I left some things out only because I I don't feel confident in its facts, that it's a fact. We're gonna have time to have that discussion. We might just have a full panel and we'll just talk about everything. You bring bits of information that you have, and we'll talk about it. We've got nothing but time, thankfully. Sammy JC says, excellent coverage. I appreciate that. I'm learning. This is the first time I've ever done anything serious here. I can roast you all day long. That's easy for me. This is not. So I do appreciate you being here. We stayed 70 people strong, most of it. That's 20 more than yesterday. Hopefully next time there'll be 20 more. Protect your children. Don't look the other way, especially now. Even if all these people get rounded up, there's another bunch on their way if they're not already active, and that's a fact. It's terrifying, but we have to understand that. Sam Brown, thank you so much. Intriguing topic for sure. And Cash has a shekel for your time. I appreciate you guys. I'm not going to hold you up any longer. I'm Dave. It's a pleasure hanging out with you guys. You can call me Dave, call me Sinner, whatever. You guys are fucking incredible. Feel free to email me if I you think I misspoke on something. Show me, homie. Just email me. We can have a conversation. I'm getting better with my emails. Yeah, that's what I got for you. I'm gonna play you out the same normal outro that I use for my trashy channel here, just because it has a good message as well. If you pray. If you got good energy to send, do that as well. How cheesy is it? But if you see something, say something. It's really vital. Take care, guys. I'm not going to be live super early in the morning, but I'll be back for some social commentary, we'll call it. Some influencer commentary. And guess what? I'll leave it at this as well. These type of people operate on all level. We're looking at the elites, but there's also a middle class version of this, and then there's a poor version of this. It's human beings aren't all good people, and that's just a fact. Summer Dog, thank you for being here. Thanks everybody for being here. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And the next episode of this is going to be victims. And then the episode after that, if everything goes as planned, it's going to be the network and how far reaching this let's just call it an organization, because it is this elite club of demons. And then we'll finish the series up with possibilities, conspiracy, if you want to call it that, but things like that. I'll see you guys tomorrow. You're the fucking best. Yeah, that's all I got for you. Let me get rid of all these graphics and I'll play you out with my outro. And really, one last time, thanks everyone for being a grown-up. I have a difficult time with that myself sometimes, so you help me stay in line here. You hear how loud the music is? Fuck, dude. I'm right above this guy's living room where his stereo is. All right, here's my outro. Thanks, guys. Learn about this stuff. Keep digging. Teach me stuff, too. We'll talk tomorrow. I'm trying to figure out what song he's listening to. It's always so bad. All right, guys. Sinner out.
You gotta take control. Life's too short. Get out of your head. Make a better life instead.
Oh wait, sorry. I don't want to seem as though I'm not appreciative. I don't want to say your name. I don't know if this is your government name, but I'll say, Solo Rider. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the cash up. That's very kind of you. I do appreciate it. I'll put it to good use. Also, come back for my drama streams. I have an opportunity to be a lot funnier in that kind of scenario. And I'm having a giveaway, 2 giveaways actually, one for my subscribers and one for my members. That's occurring on Monday, day after tomorrow. So come back for that. You might win yourself a couple bucks. Sinner out.
Instead, you You gotta give it all your best. So put your hands up to the sky and live your best life, alright. Don't just let it go by, just try, oh my. Got only one life, got only this time. We gonna get it right. You gotta let go of those who don't belong in your tribe. So cut the bad out of your life. Yeah, do it one time, one time. You gotta work till you're winning. Yeah, take control of the system. When you invest, it's addicting. No time to rest, let's go get it. Not gonna stop till I'm finished. Not gonna drop to my limits. Deep in my chest, I'm inhaling. Believe in testing and failing. You gotta flip everything in your mind. Take the limiting thoughts and turn them into your why. Prove to yourself you're worth it. You deserve it. Push past all the hurt and find your purpose. You gotta take control. Life's too short. Get out of your head, make a better life instead. You gotta give it all your best, so don't let go. Take control. Get out of your head, make a better life instead. You gotta give it all your best, give it all your best. Hey, yo, never gonna stop, no way, no. Yelling out, hey, yo, headed to the top on our way, yo. You gotta make change, yeah, there's gonna be a little pain, but nothing's worse than staying the same. So light that flame, put the work in, go claim everything you want in this place. It's time to go fast, know that energy is all cash. You could get it all if you never give up, no slack. Headed to the top is a mystery, your own path. Never gonna stop, no, you got this, never go back. I know it gets hard, you gotta love it. You gotta recharge with what you want and think of your dreams. Get that energy to go and get everything. You gotta take control. Life's too short. Get out of your head, make a better life instead. You gotta give it all your best, so don't let go.